these certain family members that you were dealing with, they made it seem as if it was all up to you and it was your responsibility to rekindle the relationships with other people that had been severed, that had gone through a type of shift, that had been broken in a sense. They made it seem as if you were the only one that needed to fix it and that everybody else needed to just be who they were, and that you were the one that needed to bend and bend over backwards in order to fix these relationships. And let me tell you how unfair that is, because relationships are a two-way street. It takes two to tango. And if one person is doing all of it trying to fix a situation or fix a relationship, but the other person is not putting in the same effort to mend the relationship, to reconcile, to rekindle, to give the relationship what it needs, then that relationship is going to fail. Because basically with these other family members, they were gaslighting you. They were basically making it seem like it was your fault that the relationships were severed and that it was entirely up to you to fix them, when honestly the reason that these relationships were severed in the first place is because of the way that you were being treated in these relationships. These relatives wanted you to have blind loyalty to certain family members that were not even loyal to you. Like basically, you may have even asked them, so you want me to be loyal to somebody that is not loyal to me? And they're like, yeah, well, be loyal to the relationship because you never know if you're not ever going to need those people again. Be loyal to them. But why should I be loyal to somebody that is not loyal to me? And their reason was, well, be loyal to them because that's your dad, that's your mom, that's your sister, that's your brother. Basically holding the title over your head. And anybody that wants to hold a family title over your head and make you feel like you are obligated to have a relationship with those people are toxic and dysfunctional. Because listen, Matthew 10:36, a man's enemies will come from his very own household. And there are people that will literally make the one that is being abused and done wrong and disrespected, they make it seem like the victim of the situation is the villain because they don't want to put up with the abuse anymore. Like these people basically want for you to just play the role in the dysfunctional dynamic because that is what keeps the dysfunctional dynamic going. These people wanted you to play the role of the black sheep, of the scapegoat, the emotional dumping ground, the doormat that people can just walk all over, the punching bag that people can just treat and speak to any old kind of way, the punching bag that people use to emotionally regulate themselves, the punching bag that people treat as a object and not as a person, These people wanted you to hold the dynamic of playing the role of the one that is always showing up for everybody, always helping everybody out and getting very little in return. And I'm not even just talking about financial. I'm talking about just appreciation, gratitude. You would help these people out and they would barely even appreciate you. They would barely even say thank you. And then to add insult to injury, they would turn around and try to act like you never did anything for them to begin with and act like you don't even help them when you literally have spent your time, your energy, your resources to help these people. You have even put your own life on the back burner to show up for these people when they needed you, and they still bit the hand that fed them. They still basically gave you their ass to kiss after all you have done for them. And you're not the type where you want to keep, where you're like gonna throw this back in their face, but no, you're basically like, I've done so much to help you and you want to turn around and act like I didn't do anything for you. I'm not throwing this in your face because I want something from you. I'm basically saying like, you're trying to gaslight me and say that I did nothing for you when you know good and goddamn well I did so much for you. You're not gonna pretend that I didn't do anything for you. And these family members basically want you to have this blind loyalty to these toxic family members that don't even have loyalty to you. These people that they want you to be loyal to are over here betraying you behind your back, backstabbing you, gossiping about you, slandering you, lying on your name, defaming your character. But these other relatives, these other family members want you to be loyal to these toxic, dysfunctional, evil, sick, twisted, sadistic people. These family members are trying to tell you that you need to reevaluate how you handle situations, wanted to tell you that you need to start doing more to mend the relationship with people in your family, all the while they're not doing anything to mend the relationship with you. All the while, they're not keeping the same energy to reconcile with you. You see, these people, they expected you to be the one to come back to them and kiss their ass. They expected you to be the one to come crawling back to them and getting down on your knees and begging them to have you back into their lives. Because what they wanted for you, they want you to play a certain role. They want you to have a lack of boundaries. The only way that the relationship was going to work with these people is for you to sacrifice yourself, to sacrifice your dignity, to sacrifice your integrity, to go back on the boundaries that you set for yourself. They wanted to cross your boundaries. They wanted to overstep your boundaries. They wanted you to have no boundaries at all. They wanted you to be in this unhealed version of yourself. And that was the only way that that relationship was going to work. So when they tell you that they want you to think about how you're having relationships with other people, and they want you to focus on working to mend the relationship, what they really mean underneath the surface, in between the lines, is they want you to go back to the version of yourself that you used to be, the one that lacked boundaries, the one that would let people walk all over them, the one that was unhealed, the one that was not aware or awakened to how horrible you were treated. They want you to go back to that old version of yourself because that's the version that they had more control over. That's what they mean. That's what they mean. They want you to go back to the version of yourself that they could control. But I'm sorry, not sorry. You are not that version anymore. You are not that person anymore. You have completely outgrown that version of yourself, and they can't handle this new version of you. They cannot handle this new version of you, the one that is more healed, the one that has boundaries, the one that is awakened to the abuse and neglect and disrespect that you were going through, the one that is aware to how dysfunctional this relationship is, the one that is seeing how it's very one-sided, because you are in this with pure intention. You are in this to be genuine, while they are in this to not have pure intentions for you, to not be genuine with you, to just be fake with you, to be phony with you, to just go through the motions. Because these people that are talking about they want you to mend the relationship with them, are they putting any effort to mend the relationship with you? Do they ever hit you up or call you just to check on you, just to see how you're doing, or just to talk to you? Do they ever do that? Or are they only calling you when they need something from you, when they need you to watch their kids, when they need a favor to be done, when they need you to help them do something for them? The relationship that you had with them was very transactional, and it was very conditional. As long as you were doing what they wanted you to do, doing what you were told, the relationship worked. But the minute that you actually started standing up for yourself and started advocating for yourself and started taking your power back, that's when the relationship started to sever even more, because they could not handle this version of you that had boundaries. And these relationships that you lost when you became more healed, those type of familial relationships were only supposed to be there in your unhealed version. The unhealed version of you had those relationships, and once you became more healed, now these relationships cannot last. They're not strong enough because the foundation was not strong enough. The foundation was not built on them actually building a bond with you. The foundation was them having control over you. And they felt that they had this level of hierarchy over you. And when you realize you told them yourself, like, no, I come first. I'm not about to put you before me. They're looking at you like, how dare you put yourself first? Selfish people want you to put yourself last and put them first, while they put themselves first and put you last. No. You see, they thought that you were naive. And at some point you were a little bit naive, but not anymore. They thought you were going to remain naive. They thought that you were going to remain this gullible person that just let people walk all over them. They thought you were going to remain this person that had no boundaries. And now that you have these boundaries, now that you are no longer being blindly loyal to people that are betraying you, that are not loyal to you, now that you are taking your power back, those relationships severed. Let it.